Hey guys, Rexasor here, and welcome to Update Monday on the 16th of December 2024. There are only 3 Mondays left, including this one, of 2024. It's been a year, that's for sure. It's been a busy week for me. A lot of things have happened, and a lot of things I've done. There's like a video game. There's a video game contingent of what I've done this week, which I'm going to do at the end of this. And we'll go through my physical transference through places in time. First, sorry. So, Wednesday, we had Basin. We finished the adventure that we were doing, and it was a very satisfying ending. Was it satisfying? It was satisfying. It was nice to finish an adventure without all dying, which is what happened last time. Effectively, we resolve the situation, but not in a way where we got rid of the spirits, we basically just told everyone be less religious around an area which angered the spirits, and now people will stop angering the spirits and just be allowed to do what they want to do. So we resolved the situation. It was very fun. The whole adventure in itself was very fun, even if the latter was very it just happened. But I think effectively the previous session we could have just carried on and got to this point. So it was kind of just like tying loose ends kind of thing, which was fine. And I'm really, really looking forward to the next adventure that we have. The way that we're going to operate it is we're going to have a hub. And then we're going to have a rotation of characters, all that come from the hub, so both of us, and anyone who wants to join at that point, will have a character at this hub, and they'll be able to pick and choose which one they're going to play in each adventure, which will be really, really nice and really cool. So that was really fun. We also had some Mr. Kebab and Pizza, I think that was what it was called, which was very good, very tasty. It's like a place near the tram shed in Cardiff. And it was yum. So there we go. Then trying to think what else. Warhammer on Friday was very good. I played my Marines. Oh, there was a big data slate, which is like an update of the rules for Warhammer 40,000 tabletop, which just came out of the blue. It didn't come out of the blue. It was meant to happen, but everyone had forgotten because there was this advent calendar of detachments happening. So there was a lot of updates. My army got changed significantly, so I had to change a few units around in my army and bought that, and it performed very well. It was a mirror match, and both of us had a good time with it. I pulled out on top. I think just positioning and tactics overall, dice rolls were very much on my side but by the end I was already winning handedly, so I don't think that really mattered. But it was a very fun game. And I'm looking forward to the coming year because my group that I'm playing with is finished their league, which I wasn't able to participate with this year, but next year they're doing a draft league, which will have random people pitted together. So that'll be fun. Gonna look forward to doing that. That doesn't start until February. Then we will have Saturday. We went up to see Richard and Michaela, where we did our annual Christmas cookie baking and decorating. So that was a lot of fun. Me and Richard had many discussions about Warhammers and beyond. So a lot of fun. And then Michaela made a very, very nice curry for our lunch, which was very good and very satisfying and very warm. And that's all I needed. So yeah, it was a really good time. We had a lot of fun. We didn't see the time go by. I think we arrived at 10ish, and then we left at 4:30ish, and we were just like, oh, it's already time to go home. It was a lot of fun, and we made a lot of cookies. And the reindeer cookie cutter looked like squids when it was upside down, so I made a bunch of Christmas squid instead of Christmas reindeer, and I am not apologizing in the slightest. So that happened on Saturday. It was really good fun. I really enjoyed that. And then yesterday was the big finale for the year of Dungeons and Dragons. No more sessions this year, which it was a really good final session. they started off the session against a boss battle, and it was probably the strongest boss I've ever pitted anyone against before. So it was interesting to see how they coped with it, and there were some really clutch moments where like our cleric healed everyone for it's significantly enough where it mattered. There was a lot of character doing action, so the evil person targeted that character so that they couldn't, and then they defeated this character, and upon defeating it, the character that they killed turned to ice and snow and melted away. And I think this is a very important thing that I'm saying out loud so that anyone who is listening notes that, because that is an important distinction compared to just dying. But the character had a staff which completely negated one of the character's powers from an artifact they have, and one of the intentions that the evil character could have used a legendary action to teleport this staff back to where it belongs, and they died before they could do it, which means that the players now have this staff, and I'm like, this was not meant to happen. So I need to not only create a proper stat block for this staff so that they know what it does and how it's used, but also I need to tweak what's going to happen outside, because this staff was not supposed to be in the possession of the players for a while. So we shall see. I might have to just make an amendment entirely and just make it a different staff, or at least not in its fully powered version. Either way, it's very interesting. My wife is giving me looks of I'm noting this down. Yeah, that was Sunday. It was a really good set. I really enjoyed it. I've been getting messages all day from certain players because of leveling up and stuff, because they're now level 11, and one of them level 12 because of the artifact that they have. So yeah, it's just been a lot of people pretty happy. I'm also pretty happy. So that will be happening, and then next year there's a lot of really cool things in the works planned for that D&D campaign, so we shall see how it goes with that. Now, to the video games that have come out. So we've had a DLC from Gladius, Warhammer 40,000 Gladius, which is a 4X game. Effectively, you play a faction, you build a base and units, research, a general 4X game. I've talked about it a few times, but it had a new DLC come out, which is the Primaris units for Space Marines. So it updated the Space Marine faction further and gave it access to a bunch of new units. Played a game. It went pretty well. A bit too fast, maybe. I don't know. The units are great. I think they have enough of a difference to the main units that they feel good. Although I didn't get to play all of them, I feel like I should have played on a harder difficulty or with more AI. I think I forgot to tweak my settings, so it was a fairly quick a fairly quick game that I played. So I'm probably going to go back to it, but the issue and reason why I've not is because Warhammer 3 got its new DLCs, Omens of Destruction, which released 3 lords, and there was a free legendary lord which everyone got access to. I've done a Skulltaker campaign, which is the Khorne legendary lord, and honestly pretty disappointed. It was much too fast of a campaign. I only had 2 armies and I won, and it was kind of like, this feels crap, to be honest. The thing with the Skulltaker campaign is that it's a character who kills other characters and then gets campaign progress through killing other characters. So you can really easily both farm and also advance much quicker than everyone else, because there was a point where I killed a character, and due to the buffs that I got from my items and his campaign mechanic, I grew 6 levels in one battle, which is just unheard of. The maximum you do is 1 level. And if there are 2 legendary lords, maybe 2, but this was 1 not even proper legendary lord, like a minor hero lord thing, and I got 6 levels from it, and I was like, so I was level 50 by turn 50 basically, which isn't it's some people can do that on regular, but it's not for me basically. So finished that campaign within a day, which was this I don't know, it felt really, and I was like, oh no, I hope the other two characters are like this. So I started a Gorbad Ironclaw campaign on Saturday evening, sorry, and it's going much better. I'm enjoying it immensely. It is really fun. The mechanic is really fun. It means that his mechanic is tactics, where you need certain units to act in your army to activate those tactics within that army specifically, and they give buffs to your army, which means that you don't just spam one unit. You need a mix of a bunch, because you can get up to 3 tactics, and units don't overlap that much in the tactics. So it's like, well, I'll get 2 giants and 3 gobos, but then none of the other tactics require giants. So it's like, okay, well, I need something else to get, So it's been really interesting to have to think about my army composition for the first time, basically, outside of I want this much infantry, this much ranged. There we go. So, and then it's just been really, really fun. Just been a really good campaign. So I'm really looking forward to trying out the Ogre Kingdoms when I finish the Ironclaw campaign, although it's going to be a while because it just takes a while. So I'm going to do that later. It was a good. This has, however, meant that I've stopped playing Stardew Valley for the time being, because I don't have time to do 7 games at the same time. But that's fine. It happens. In terms of entertainment, Yogscast Jingle Jam ended on Saturday. They raised 2.7 million for charity this year, which is pretty good. There was a lot of amazing streams this year, and I'm still watching through a lot of them. I save a bunch of them to watch with my wife, like the game show ones. They're really fun. And then there are some ones that I need, because I play my games whilst watching, but there are some that I want to be there to watch, and one of them is 7 hours long, because it's their speedrun day, where all of the Yogs have basically learnt a game to speedrun and are doing it for charity. And every time that I see a speedrun, I do get that itch to try, but I know that it takes so many hours to perfect it, and I think I have too much of a perfectionism to not want to go all out. Also, all the games I would want to do are very difficult to speedrun and are usually quite long. Like, I would love to speedrun a Pokemon game, but that's like 3 hours of a run, and I would need to learn all this other stuff. XCOM ain't happening. There's too much, like, strategy games. You can't really speedrun those in the same way that you would like a platformer or a Skyrim or a, those kinds of games. But yeah, so coming up this week, we've got not really much. We've got Warhammer on Friday. That's about it. More video games. I don't think anything else coming out. Oh, actually, big news came out. Obviously, the Game Awards was also last year. This year. It was last year, but this year's Game Awards was this year, and it was last week. They announced a bunch of really cool stuff, including Solasta 2. So excited. I enjoyed Solasta so much, playing it with friends, but also on my own. I've played all of the campaigns, and I've thoroughly enjoyed Solasta. It was kind of like a really surprising game to find, because I was like, oh, it's a TTRPG. I enjoy those. CRPG. I really enjoy those. TTRPG? I think it is a TTRPG rather than a CRPG. Either way, the campaign, the initial campaign, Crown of the Magister, just took me completely by surprise. I was like, oh my god, this is just D&D using the SRD, which is the standard rules database, which is the freely accessed rules, and there's so much creativity. Like the combat was the story was not superb. It was very 5 out of 10. It was a very basic story. It was very obvious what was going on, but the combat and the way the models looked was fantastic, and the effects, the like spell effects, the amount of spells that you had access to, and then later on when they added their own subclasses from scratch that weren't standard to D&D, when they added like different enemy types, just it was fantastic. So really, really excited for Solasta 2. I really enjoyed the cinematic trailer for it. It was really cool, and I'm really wondering what that story is going to do, because it's set in the same world Maybe a different timeline, maybe a different area. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm really looking forward to Solasta 2. Not that it'll be out for another year or two, but very hype. And then, of course, Witcher 4 was announced properly with a very, very, very awesome trailer. And it's going to be really cool playing as Ciri, because you already played as her in Witcher 3. Got to learn about her abilities and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see the new mechanics. And it looks like she's got this really cool like rope pull mechanic using a chain on her wrist that she lassos an enemy with, so it'll be really interesting to see the new mechanics for that as well. But yeah, that'll do for Update Monday. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will talk to you guys next week, which will be the 23rd, where I have a British gas man coming to check on my boiler, so Update Monday may be a little late. Luckily I'm not 82 and my boiler is working, but he needs to do the safety regulation checks, so we should be good. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.